Howdy, it's Matt, and in this episode we've got the Maiden of the Skywalker Sirius. Now, let me give you a quick rundown on this model and the one mistake which I made so that you don't repeat it. Now, in short, this is basically a squashed Bixler. That's the easiest way to explain it. It's had its nose put in a vise. Now, it's got a 1.5 meter wingspan. It cost me $36, so super like silly cheap. And it's just big and floaty. Now, as far as the build goes, I didn't actually record the build, but because there was no need to. It was just super simple. You literally just pop your servos in. Oh yeah, one little thing is I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on the camera, but someone had a bad day when they were designing the servo holes at the back. So you've got the bottom of the other servo down there, and you've got that one there, and I had to cut out the bottom of it. That's probably about the negative point which I can give you. It was obviously designed for some weird shaped servo which I've never seen before. But that said, really straightforward to build. Nice big fuselage in it. Look at the size of that. It's absolutely monstrous in there. I've been flying this one with a 4000 3S pack. It's one of the big LIHV packs in there. I've gone for the, well, I'll tell you what, let's start at the tail and work forwards. I've got the TowerPro MG90S servos all around. So we've got two in the tail, one for the elevator and one for the rudder, and two in for the ailerons. Do note that I have changed the orientation on mine. I think the elevator servo was supposed to, the control horn was supposed to be underneath, but I've been and changed mine so it's on the top, so it's out of the way of the grass. Moving forwards, I've got a SunnySky 1400 kV motor on here with a 7x4 prop, a HobbyKing 30 amp ESC on the top. Brilliant place, a good idea for the placement, by the way. And a massive tip for you: when you put your model together, screw in your motor mount and then run the cable and your motor in, and then run the cables through the fuselage or through the top of the fuselage, so that you can then connect your ESC up nice and easily afterwards. Yeah, just use Yoo-Hoo, which unfortunately we can see very clearly in the tail boom, because as soon as Yoo-Hoo sees sunlight, that's it, it turns yellow. Good glue, plenty of playtime, but it does turn yellow in the sunlight. I have FPV'd mine up. I've got a little TX526 video transmitter on the top. I've got a Runcam Owl Plus on the nose, and I'll put links and all the parts which I've been put in the video description for you below. Inside, I'm actually running this one with an X8R Receiver, which is probably overkill, but it was the one which I had spare in the receivers box, so that's what I've been stuffed in it. Really straightforward build. There was no manual, but to be honest, you don't need the manual on it. I've put the CG at, I think it's 55mm from the leading edge of the wing, and it's a huge, great big wingspan we've got on this one. Now, I did mention one mistake which I made, and unfortunately it's just hanging out just here. I don't know if you can see that. That is the connector wire for the elevator, which is back here. And don't make this mistake, which is the mistake which I've made, is don't just rely on tape for that connector. I pulled it, well, I had a bit of a rough landing, to be honest. Somebody stalled it. Anyway, my point is that when you use your servo extension leads to connect to your servos coming in from the tail, which is really obvious, there is a like a trench all the way through the tail boom itself, is that use hot glue, CA glue or something like that, and put tape around it as well, so you won't end up in the same mistake, making the same mistake which I did, pulling on the lead too hard and it came unplugged. And you can see I've still got tape on it, so I did tape it up. Well, I thought I taped it up well. Obviously not enough. In the sky, complete kitten. Now, let me put it down for a moment. For the day of a Maiden is just be aware the hedge to the right hand side is the wind was coming from the opposite side, and it was a little bit gusty at times, so you'll see the wind comes in, hits the hedge, and there's loads of turbulence in on top, so the model does get knocked around quite a bit. But because it's got dihedral in it, I just wanted to get it up and get it flying, just to make sure everything was working all right and get it trimmed in, and it's an absolute kitten. I've been on and I've been and flown it again. I've also flown it FPV as well, and it's just exactly what I wanted it for. Super stable, decent efficiency, large capacity in the fuselage. It's not long distance. You could do it for medium distance quite easily. Well, saying that, depends how big the battery you stick in it, you know. But I've just bought it just to fly around with. I refuse to pay that amount of money for a bloomin' Bixler. It's just too much money for what it is. So instead, I've gone for the cheaper option, and frankly speaking, I'm kind of happy that I have. So that said, let's jump across to the flight line and give it a good lob. Brilliant. We'll see you there. Once she's finished. Alright, it's Matt. Skywalker Sirius? Is that Sirius?
Sirius, yeah.
Sirius?
Yeah.
Whatever. Maiden. Give it a lob and see how she does.
You need to bung with that, or you're open?
I'm not going to say no. I'm genuinely not going to say no. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Especially because it's unknown. You don't know what trim it's got on it. Yeah, it looks like it's going to do the part, doesn't it?
Looking at that flag, I think we've got to check them that way. I think that one's dead.
Oh, just lob it that way. We'll sort that out afterwards. Right. And we're away.
Is that 4 beans?
That's 4 beans.
Beautiful.
It's a bit of up trim in it. Yeah, because of the dihedral, it's a bit sloppy in the old turns. Yeah. And it is running a bit nose heavy. Try and keep it away from the house.
I think the wind's coming over the hedge again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why she's skewing. Just stick a bit. Look at that! That's got some rudder in it as well. She's just dancing along the hedge.
Got a bit of crabbing going on there.
Yeah. Turn it in the high rates. See if that makes it a bit more. Oh. I think she's a bit tail heavy, if I'm honest. Alright, let's bring her into land.
I'm going to make the pitch.
Bit more throttle.
Need some penetration.
It's a 4000 Prius I got in there. Oh!
Good enough.
Brilliant. Thank you, Andrew.
Alright. On the square?
Yeah. If I stand there, it looks like we took it off that way, doesn't it? And landed it in a round next to us.
Video it in.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, a bit choppy.
That's why I was expecting to have a bit more beans, but...
Oh, I was trying to keep the throttle down a bit. It's a bit early. So there you go, that was the maiden of the Skywalker Sirius. Happy days, I kind of like it. I like it.
Definitely a Bixler
yeah.
investment.
That's for sure. $36.
Yeah.
What the?
You can't remember that.
No.
It's like stuck its nose in a vice, but...
Yeah, it has been a bit squashed on the old nose front, but the bay on it's massive. Definitely, I think I've got a stabiliser in it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just to calm it down a bit. Happy days.
Nice little floater.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely a bit choppy out there, isn't it? Howdy, it's Matt. Now, apologies, the video footage of her flying in the sky wasn't that fantastic. I just wanted, as I'm sure you would be with a new model, just get it up in the sky and fly it around and see how it handles. And as we saw, it was just a great big kitten, well, considering the amount of wind and turbulence on top of that hedge. I don't know if you, I know that's what happened on the flight line. I don't know if you could see it in the video footage. Is basically she just grabbed all the way along the top of that hedge line. I did stick some rudder in there as well to make a crab going along it along the top of the hedge line. We will have some more video footage of this model. I did buy it just for something big and floaty, just to chuck around in the sky, and it's just one of those models which you can just lob and just enjoy the outside world, if that makes sense. We went flying yesterday with her. The reason why the cable came out in the middle is basically Matt nearly had it in a tree, and I did manage to make it go up, where I throttled so hard and pulled so much up into it. I did make it stall. It was just like the beginnings of a loop, and it came straight up. I avoided the tree and got it landed, and that's the reason why the cable came undone. So it was bad piloting skills on my part. But that said, with the goggles down on the top, it's just big and floaty, and I'm going to say it again, which is exactly the reason why I bought it. I just wanted something just to chill out with and just enjoy the scenery. Sun's out, sat in the chair, goggles down. Fantastic. So we will be seeing this one again very shortly in the near future. I've got some more video footage of this one to come, and I will update this on my YouTube channel very, very shortly. If you have any questions about the Skywalker Sirius, please just let me know in the comments section underneath this video. Remember, I did buy this model out of my own money for my own uses and frankly abuses as well. So yeah, kind of like it, to be honest. So with that said, from myself, Matt, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again shortly. Cheerios!